People's top of the morning. It is Friday, December 15th, and I am here with your geopolitical news. Right now, I'm just going to play this video for you real quick. I'd like some of you to beware some of the images you're about to see is very disturbing, but nonetheless, I'm going to play the video. So, what you're seeing right now is footage of the school that was bombed in Gaza. Like this is very disturbing. They're saying that they found bodies inside of the classrooms. People were executed at point blank range. So you mean to tell me that the people that came to the school for their loved ones, for their kids, this is what they showed up to? And so as you see these images, this is very heartbreaking. Look at all these shells. Look at all the munition shells. And those shells were spent at a school. And so I know that was disturbing for a lot of you to see, but these are the pieces and this is the information that needs to be brought to you. These are the things that you're going to have to be able to bear to see so that you can know and be informed about exactly what's going on and so that you won't be unprivy. I'd like to thank Al Jazeera for bringing so much of this truth to light. Al Jazeera also reports, how did his tiny ears receive the constant bombardment? How did his small nose smell the gas and gunpowder in the air? Two mothers who gave birth in Gaza's Al Shifa hospital reunited with their premature babies in Egypt. And you see, like I said, you see images like this and you just think about it as a parent, as a human being, man. It's it's too much for you to just sit back and say, I'm gonna continue on with my regular life. Everything that's going on with me is of more importance than what's going on around the world. Things like this are constantly plaguing me right now. And maybe I'm at a point in my life where I've become hypersensitive to this stuff, but it's really bothering me as a human being. You understand the place that we've come to, the point where we will allow things to happen and we won't stand up and fight against it. In other geopolitical news, Al Jazeera reports ECOWAS court orders reinstatement of Niger's ousted Bazoum. Mohamed Bazoum was overthrown by members of his presidential guard on July 26 and has been detained with his family since then. So this individual right here is Niger's, well, former president, if you want to call it. I mean, the West and the Western allies still consider him to be the president, but he has been removed by the military guard. You understand? And like I said in the previous video, you know, these individuals have been puppeteers of the West and Western allies. And so some would say that it is rightfully so that this is happening now. Now, as it relates to ECOWAS, many of you probably don't know what that acronym stands for. So ECOWAS is the Economic Community of West African States. You understand? So it's basically like something similar to the United Nations for the continent of Africa. You understand? And this whole structure set up is obvious that it was given to them by the West and the Western allies. So, they formed what is called ECOWAS, and this is supposed to be, all of these different, African states that have come together and they're gonna, make policies and make sure everything is supposed to be the way that it's supposed to be. But obviously, obviously, they have failed miserably. What I'd also like to add is that the West and the Western allies have advised this individual not to sign anything as it relates to his resignation or stepping down from his presidential seat. And the reason why they have advised him of this is because they were actually planning military engagements inside the continent of Africa. And so if you sign anything and you give up your presidential seat, then technically they will have no reason to engage. But now, because they've been advising him not to sign anything, they can still engage and then reinstate him back to his presidential seat. In other geopolitical news, Al Jazeera reports Japan expands sanctions over Russia's war in Ukraine. Tokyo adds 57 Russian new organizations to its trade blacklist and latest measures to punish Moscow. So now, if you really pay attention to what's going on, right, on the world stage, right, what's happening is that conflicts are happening all around the world. And so the measures that some of these countries are taking, especially the West and its Western allies, what they love to do is sanction companies, put them on a blacklist, don't trade with them. They've been doing this for decades, probably even centuries. But this is the way that the West conducts business. And so, all of their allies conduct business the same way, and they impose sanctions upon people. They weaponize, currency. And so you got a company and you operating abroad, you operating in another country. And for whatever reason, your country and this country, they fall into odds with each other. Now, the country that you're operating your business in that's abroad, they blacklist your company because you come from said country that they have the tensions and the issues with. And this is what's happening all around the world. So if you somebody who has a business, you are a business owner, my best piece of advice to you is to really start where you are from. Really start your business and build and establish yourself a home base where you're from. So that way, when you do expand and you do go abroad, you won't be so affected by the geopolitical events that happen, and then countries decide to do this or do that or whatever may have you. So this is something to pay attention to. This is something to observe. You pay attention to enough of these countries and enough of these companies, and you see what's going on, and you see the sanctions coming out with, then you already know what's about to happen. And so that was your geopolitical news and current events. Did you know about these stories? Did you have any idea about any of these things? Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. And always remember, stay vigilant, stay safe, peace.